Hi, Melanie Muenchinger, illustrator for Gina K Designs. Today I have a new project for you with my newest set from Gina K Designs, Triple Play Frame. But I'm also going to be using one of my other favorite sets that I recently put out, Fabulous Frame Fillers. If you've watched my other videos, you know this is a companion set for my Fabulous Frame, which is another set that I have that contains a card-sized frame in it with coordinating sentiments and images. So this has all the fillers for that, but when I designed this frame, I used images and considered the sizes so that you could also plug these into here and coordinate with these different images that use some of the leaves and flowers. This is the card that we're going to be creating today. It has thanks on it, which is from the Fabulous Frame Fillers set, and this has just a more classic font than the more whimsical and modern one in the Triple Play frame. But you can see that I used a border and just some of the little leaf and flower accents from it. This would make a great Mother's Day design, and I just love how this makes the more contemporary frame with the circles look really vintage and classic just by using these elements. The other products that you're going to need for this card, in addition to those two stamp sets, you'll need a large block for the frame. This is a 6x6 block. You'll need a long block for stamping in that border. I've got the Gina K Pure Luxury Ivory cardstock. This is the heavy base weight that you can use for your single layer cards. It's 5.5 by 8.5 and it is scored at 4 1/4 inches. I've also just got some paper Prima flowers for adding to the windows. The ink pads I'm using today, I've got the Kraft for stamping the frame and the accents, just a little bit of pink, and then the black Onyx because I really want for that greeting to pop. But you could also use this for some of your accents on there as well. Then I've just got some little foam squares and finally some brads to attach the Primas together in layers. But you could use pearls or whatever you want. Okay, so let's begin by stamping out this frame. I like to do it horizontally, and I always wait to fold the cardstock after I have done all of my stamping so that it doesn't pop up. So I'll put this here where you can see it. So I go across on the top and then across on the bottom, being careful not to go into those open sides. And the corners are the parts that you're most likely to miss when you're inking this up. So just make sure you get all 4 of those. Then we're going to just flip it over. And I'm just going to center it over that card front and stamp. Okay, and we're going to go portrait style today with our card. So I'm going to keep this craft pad out, and I'm going to use just some of those little accents from the Fabulous Frame Fillers set. So they're in a little V that you can see, this flower and leaves, and they just pop right into that space on either side of the circles. Okay, now I'm also going to put these at the corners of the frame. And then when you do that, this was actually sized for the width of my Fabulous frame so that you could put it in without needing to do any masking on the sides. So this is obviously shorter than the length of the long side of this frame, but when you add those accents to the end, without any masking, and I'm going to turn it this way because I just find it awkward to stamp with such a long block that way. Just goes together just like that. Then I'm going to use this tiny little medallion that has the negative image of that flower, and this is in the Triple Play frame. I'm just going to pop this just right in between those circles to further embellish that part. Okay? And we'll go ahead and add the greeting at the bottom in the black. I'm just going to put this right here in the corner. And then let's just do a little bit of coloring. And I think I forgot to pick these up earlier. I've got the CR2 and the GG2 Spectrum Noir markers for coloring these borders. But you can also use just a water-based marker. I like the alcohol though just because it blends so nicely. And I really like this particular color with our Innocent Pink pad. It's just a nice blush color, and it's really pretty on a vintage looking card. Okay, and then this one. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and fill in this circle right here. And I love how the end of this billet tip is almost the same width of these borders. So it's really easy to fill them in. Go ahead and do this one as well. And if you want to skip, I made a couple different versions of this card, and I put the gray and the pink on different areas. The reason why I grabbed the gray, I realized when I looked through my Prima pack that I didn't have any brown in it like I thought, so I just decided to use the gray to tie that in. Has some charcoal flowers on it. Alright, so let's go ahead and use this gray just to fill in what I call the belly band portion of this. Almost done. Okay. And I've already layered two of these little flowers together. They have some script on them. So I'm just going to pop these on. I've put the brad through. They already have a hole punch through them, so that's something kind of nice about Primas. But I didn't want to use a hole punch on these because it's a single layer card. Okay, so then I'm going to show you what you can do with these little white or ivory flowers. Just take the ink color that you used on one of your borders, and you'll have a perfectly coordinated flower. And I don't worry too much about getting it completely saturated because I kind of like that ivory showing through since I have an ivory card anyway. But you can go ahead and just add more ink if you want to make sure that is a solid pink. And then I'm going to put my little brad through. And this is just from a little pack of brads that I got in a previous Gina K Stamp TV kit. So we're going to layer these on top of each other. Press the brad through, and then I'm going to turn it just so that the different petals are alternating. And then add this with one more foam square. Little hair on there. Remove the backing. And then layer that on. And then you can fluff these up before you stage it for your photographs or before you give it to your friend. And then finally, I'm going to use this innocent pink pad, and I'm just going to add this heart that's from my triple play frame and put it above the thanks. And that just ties in all those little floral and leaf elements. And the card is complete. Here's another card that I created where I stamped both of the hearts on there and just used up one of the flowers. You don't necessarily need to have that many embellishments. But I hope you enjoyed seeing how you can use the borders and the different accents from that set in the triple play frame. Please visit my blog, Hands, Head, and Heart, for more ideas and inspiration, and visit us at Gina K Designs and Stamp TV. Thank you for watching today, and God bless.